Hello everyone, this is part 12 of What If Naruto Left Konoha to Save His Life, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. What is our situation? Asked Naruto as he looked down at the map. It had over 24 hours since the attack and around 30 hours since he had been home. Still, information about the attack was still coming in fast. It seems that Mountain, Bone and Demon Village were hit the hardest by the grave strike, said Shikamaru. Warrior Village was lucky they found the bombs minutes before they went off, but the Moon Village suffered just like us. What of the invasion force sent by Sasuke? Asked Naruto. The reports say that they Rose Village is putting up one hell of a fight, but we all know the outcome, said Shikamaru. They will lose, said Naruto. Yes, their forces are only forming a screen so that the villagers and make it to the Golem Pass and into Void Country and the Moon Village, said Shikamaru. We need to hold that pass, said Naruto as he looked at the mountain pass that marked the border between Rose and Moon. If they take that pass, they can march down and take the Moon Village, and then there is no natural defense until they reach Warrior. Yes, Warrior is sending their forces up, but since the Leaf destroyed train station in Mountain, they are at least 5 days away from the pass by foot, said Shikamaru. Naruto, I have to say at the moment it doesn't look good. I can see that, said Naruto. I want a squad of our engineers to head to Mountain Country. We need that railroad station back online. Also send some of our forces to protect the passes leading into our nation. We need to gather our strength in order to kick Sasuke out. Naruto, couldn't you just unleash the QB on the Leaf? Asked Shikamaru. I could if you want a bloodbath, said Naruto as Shikamaru looked at him. There is something I didn't tell you about my deal with the QB, Shikamaru. Whenever he is unleashed, he will kill anyone who is my enemy that he sees before he returns. So? Asked Shikamaru. So, the Leaf is my enemy. That means that if I unleashed him inside the Leaf Village, every single man, woman and child in the Leaf Village will be killed by him, said Naruto. I will not be reasonable for genocide. I understand, but you can still unleash him on a battlefield away from a village, said Shikamaru as Naruto shook his head. Not really, said Naruto. I was lucky this time that there was Emoth souls for the QB to feed on. Another part of your deal with the QB? Asked Shikamaru. Yes, if there isn't food for him when I summon him, the QB will take away a year of my life, said Naruto as Shikamaru eyes widened. So if I summon him and there is not food, I lose a year with Sakura and my family. So having the QB, the power of the QB is a double-edged sword, said Shikamaru. Yes, all power is like that, said Naruto. Meanwhile, across the village, Katara sat on the edge of a dock, her feet in the small lake, just lost in her thoughts. The image of the Sing Chunin about her age falling to the ground with her kunai in his chest. She had only seen her dad once since the battle. He was busy trying to put everything together. Suddenly she heard one of the boards of the dock creak. She jumped to her feet and pulled her knife. However, when she turned around, instead of seeing an enemy, she saw Reiji. Reiji, I could have killed you, said Katara as she put her knife away before she sat back down. Sorry, I just wanted to see how you were doing, said Reiji as he sat down next to her. Why wouldn't I be? Asked Katara. Because you killed someone, said Reiji as Katara looked down into the water. You know you did the right thing. Reiji, did you know him? Asked Katara as Reiji's eyes widened. What? He was about our age and from the Leaf. You lived in the Leaf before you came here. Did you know him? Asked Katara as she looked at Reiji with tears in her eyes. Damn it, thought Reiji as he looked in those eyes. He would tell her almost anything if she just asked, but those eyes left him no choice. Yes, who was he? Asked Katara. His name was Joe, said Reiji as he remembered the boy. Joe, said Katara as she learned the name of the person she killed. He was my neighbor, said Reiji. We played in the neighborhood park together when we were kids. He was your best friend? Asked Katara. In a way, said Reiji as he noticed some of Katara's tears hitting the surface of the pond. But he isn't the same person I knew back then, and you did nothing wrong. Taking a life isn't wrong. Asked Katara. Katara, you took a life so that another's could live. Explained Reiji, you did what is right. Somehow I don't think Joe's family would agree with that, said Katara. Katara, we are ninjas, we will both kill people, said Reiji, however the pain we feel for each life lost is good. How is this good? Yelled Katara. It shows us that we are still humans, that we are not monsters who feel nothing when they take a life, said Reiji as Katara looked at him. The reason why you are in so much pain now, Katara, is that you are good and kind. Suddenly Katara hugged Reiji as his face became bright red. Thank you for that, Reiji, said Katara before she kissed his cheek before walking away. Reiji just sat there too stunned to move. Here was Katara, a girl he had seen every day since he was 6, and the girl he has a crush on for just as long kissed him, well, his cheek at least. Meanwhile from the bushes a very pissed off older brother of 2 minutes glared at Reiji with his own Sharingan. Sasuke stood in a pool of blood as he marched through what remained of the Rose Village. While most of the villagers had escaped from the largest city in the world, however, there was still some that didn't make it out and their blood run down the streets. So what is our status? Asked Sasuke as he cleaned his blood-stained sword on the cloths of a recently villager. Well, our reports say that we did better than we though in our attacks on the Bone, Demon and Mountain Village, said Sasuke's Anbu Captain Chuji. I am sensing a bit coming on, said Sasuke. Yes, the warrior village was able to find our bombs before they went off, said Chuji. I see. What of the dupe's village? Asked Sasuke. Sir, reports say that Naruto unleashed the Kyuubi King our ninjas, said Chuji. I see, just as though he would, said Sasuke with a grin. Sir, what if he unleashes it on us again? Asked Chuji. The dupe is weak, said Sasuke, he doesn't have the strength to watch people and have their souls consumed by the Kyuubi. He will not use it again. I sent those people to their deaths so that the dupe would be frightened into not using the Kyuubi again. I see, sir, said Chuji. What about Naruto's family, have we killed them? Asked Sasuke. No, reports are they are still alive, said Chuji as Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Sorry, sir. No matter, I guess that means I get to watch them personally when I am in the ice village in 2 weeks, said Sasuke as he stepped over another body. Naruto, you need a break, said Shikamaru as Naruto looked up at him. It is 1 in the morning and you need sleep just like everyone else. If that is true, then why are you here? Asked Naruto. I didn't spend every minute since the attack being awake, said Shikamaru, remembering the few hours he had with his wife and daughter at the hospital. Temari had gotten hit during the battle and they were waiting for a blood test to come back to see if it was poisoned or not. He had to leave before the results came in, but since he hadn't heard anything, it was a safe bet that Temari was fine. Go home and be with your family. If anything happens, we will get you. Hours later, Naruto just rubbed his tired eyes. Yeah, maybe you are right, said Naruto. You know I am right, said Shikamaru. Now go home. Slowly Naruto headed home. He walked into the house. Everyone was asleep as Naruto walked down a flight of stairs into the basement. As he walked down the darkened hallway, he stopped in front of one of the doors. Making sure not to make a sound, he opened it. Inside he found 2 sleeping boys. Since Reiji and Saito were the same age, they shared a room. Both boys were asleep, with Reiji having the top bunk of their bunk bed. Like most boys their age, their room was a mess with cloths covering the floor. Naruto slowly walked up to his adopted son's bed. He just stood there for a minute just looking at Saito. After a few minutes he walked out, closing the door behind him. His next stop was Katara's room, which was right next door. Just as before, he entered the room, only this time he didn't have to worry about spilling over a pile of dirty cloths. Katara's room was clean and organized. The only thing he had to worry about was 1 or 2 books that Katara sometimes left on the floor. Naruto stood over Katara just watching her sleep. She looks so much like Kya, thought Naruto as he remembered how Kya looked while she slept. While he didn't love Kya like he does Sakura, he did care about her. The only real difference between the two is that Kya had blonde hair and Kya has black. Slowly Naruto walked out of the room, closing the door behind him. As he turned to head back upstairs, he noticed a figure standing in the darkened hallway. Naruto-kun, said Sakura as Naruto walked up to her. It had been over 2 days since they last saw or spoke to each other outside of official reports. Sakura-chan, said Naruto as he wrapped his arms around the woman he loves. Sakura just placed her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. I am sorry that I have been away for as long as I have been. Naruto, you have no control over what happened, said Sakura. I just wish it never would have happened. Me too, but the sad truth is that I will have more days away from you all than I will like, said Naruto. Once the army is back online, I will have to lead it out. I know, I am just worried about my parents, said Sakura as Naruto's eyes widened. He had forgotten that Sakura's and Reiji's parents were still in the Leaf Village. Sakura, I don't know what he has done to them, said Naruto, but I will try my best to find out. That is all I can ask, said Sakura. Now, I want to see Kushina and Minuto before I can head to bed, said Naruto. I understand, you haven't seen them, said Sakura. Yeah, and if it wasn't for Shikamaru I would probably still be in office trying to get everything together, said Naruto. You blame yourself, don't you? Asked Sakura. Yeah, Sasuke is after me and it is because of that people have SD, said Naruto. Naruto, you baka, it isn't your fault, he would have come even if you were not here, said Sakura. He is insane and will not rest until everything is under his control. If anything, you may be the only one capable of stopping him. Maybe, said Naruto. I know you can, said Sakura. Shikamaru is working on a plan. Temari would be with him, but she was hit by a kunai during the battle, said Naruto. I know, I patched her up, said Sakura as she remembered heal the small F wound on Temari's arm. I was worried that the kunai was poised tipped when she said she felt weaker than normal. Was she? Asked Naruto. No, said Sakura with a smile. Meanwhile, across the village in a smaller house, Shikamaru walked through the door. He had finally taken his own advice and went home. However, something was strange. The lights were on. Temari is up, thought Shikamaru as he walked inside to see his wife sitting on the couch with a book. She is never up this late. She always go to bed and wakes up early. Temari, is something wrong? Asked Shikamaru. Remember my blood test? Asked Temari. Is something wrong? Asked Shikamaru. Well, they did find something, said Temari as she saw the look of fear on her husband's face. Turns out we will be having another kid a bit sooner than we planned. You're pregnant? Asked Shikamaru. Yes, little boy. We will have either a little boy or another little girl in 9 months, said Temari with a grin. In a high narrow mountain pass, villages from the Rose Village kept pouring though. It was a small pass just wide enough for 2 carts to go though at the same time. Keep moving, said a moon ninja as he directed traffic though the pass. They just keep coming, said an ice ninja. It's been 4 days since the attack on the Rose, and during the time small groups of ninjas from Moon, Mountain and Ice had soon up to hold the pass, but they all knew they were heavily outnumbered. We have enemy forces spotted 3 hours away, reported a mountain ninja. They're going pretty slow since there are so many of them. How do we want to do this? Asked an ice ninja. It's your land, you call the shots. Set paper bombs in front of us, then fall back to the pass itself. Maybe the bombs will buy time, said the Moon Jonin. Meanwhile, in Moon's village port, Shikamaru stood waiting for clearance to leave. Flashback. So Shikamaru, you and Temari are going to have a kid? Asked Naruto as Shikamaru walked into his office. Yes, said Shikamaru with a smile on his face. That just means I need to finish this war as fast as possible. I don't want my son or daughter born during a war. Well, at the moment it doesn't look like this war will go away anytime soon, said Naruto. I have an idea that may help, but I will need a few of the Anbu, said Shikamaru, and of course you're okay. What do you have planned? Asked Naruto. End flashback. Shikamaru, the ship is ready, said an ice Anbu. Good, then it is time, said Shikamaru as he headed toward the ice warship that was held in the Moon Village port. It was also maybe the fastest ship in the world. Back at the pass, the ninjas began digging pits and filling them with razor-sharp picks in the hopes that the traps may slow them down. Come on, dig them deep, yelled the ice Jonin. We need to buy as much time as possible. Our only hope is that either the Isukage of the Ice or the Warrior King of Warrior Village arrives with their armies. Move it, yelled Naruto as he led a team of ninjas through the thick forests of Void Country. To make it even worse, it was the raining season, making the tree branches slipper more than a few of his ninjas had fallen to the ground after a misstep. Sir, we need to rest, said Sire as she appeared beside him. We have been running for 2 days straight and some of that over mountains. We need to get there as soon as possible. If they take the pass, say goodbye to the Moon Village, said Naruto. Yes, But sir, if we get there as we are now, we would do more harm than good, said Saya as Naruto looked back at the tired faces of his ninja. He could even see his kids and Reiji struggling to keep up. Alright, you win, said Naruto as he raised his hand and stopped. Instantly the other ninjas stopped. Take a break, eat some food and rest. Thank you, said Saya. Saya, I am going to go ahead with an Anbu team, said Naruto as Saya looked at her old teammate turned leader. I want you to let them rest for about 2 hours and then follow us. Very well, said Saya, I will see you on the battlefield then. My legs are king me, said Saito as he sat down on a stump of a tree. I think that applies to everyone, said Katara as she took off her pack and walked toward a small stream. She took off her boots before placing her feet in the cool water. Reiji, could you bring my patch to me? Sure, said Reiji as he took the pack to Katara. Thanks, said Katara as she took the pack at the same time running her hand down Reiji's arm, causing him to smile. Those two are getting way too close, thought Saito, his instincts as an older brother kicking in. Sir, they have pulled back to the pass, said Chuji. How many? Asked Sasuke as he looked at the narrow pass. Maybe 3 or 4 dozen, no more, said Chuji as Sasuke grinned. Then we outnumber them 10 to 1, and that is just with the advance forces, said Sasuke. Prepare to attack. Looks like they are here, said the Moon Ninja as he looked at the dark shapes appeared on the horizon. What is the situation? Asked a new voice as the Moon Ninja turned only to see Naruto standing there with 4 Anbu beside him. Thank God, you're here, sir, said the Moon Ninja. Where is your army? They are on their way, I came ahead while they rested, they should be here within half an hour, said Naruto. Sir, I don't think we can hold them for half an hour, said the ninja. We can hold, said Naruto, we have to hold. Move out, ordered Sasuke as he sent Genin in first to take out any traps that they had laid out for his forces. The Genin ran forward into their first and more than likely last battle. As they ran, they entered a death field none of them would ever escape. They tripped over a series of wires, one of the secret weapons of the Moon Village, which was located on top of the mountain pass. To the normal person it looked like a normal box, but once it was opened it showed lines of kunai, each in their own slot. When the line was tripped, the trap was sprung. Using paper bombs, the boxes launched a massive wave of kunai. People looked away as most of the Genin SD in attack. Damn, they were just kids, said a Moon Ninja, they don't belong a battlefield. No one does, said Naruto as he looked out over the S and Sing Genin. Most looked like they weren't even 10 years old yet. My God, said Chuji as he looked out over the field of death. If his clan wasn't a council member clan, then his little cousin would have been out there. That is why the weak always go first, said Sasuke coldly as he noticed a figure standing on the battlefield. There he was in a coat not unlike the 4 Hokages, only his was black with what looked like spikes of white ice on it. However, it was his blonde hair that told Sasuke the truth. Well, looks like Naruto has come out to play, said Sasuke. Looks like I get to K him today after all. They are coming again, yelled an Anbu as a wave of kunai came flying forward from the Leaf Ninjas. More than a few had explosive tags on them which caused them to explode after impact. Move forward, attacks them first, ordered Naruto as he reached behind his cloak and pulled his Anbu sword. Yes, sir, said the Anbu as they followed Naruto out toward the rush of incoming ninjas from the Leaf, Rock and Cloud villages, but really all following the orders of one man. Maybe 100 yards away from the narrow pass, they two sides clashed. Great fireball, Eustace, yelled a Leaf Jonin as he sent a fireball flying toward Naruto. Naruto quickly ran though hand signs and created a windstorm justu that blew the fire back at the owner. It was then that Naruto clashed swords against his former village. Suddenly Naruto's sword clashed against the last person he expected to see on this battlefield. Kakashi-sensei, asked Naruto as he looked at his masked sensei. Yes, Naruto, said Kakashi as the two backed off each other but their swords still out. Why are you here? You should have retired by now, asked Naruto as he slashed a foolish rock Chunin N. A ninja never retires, said Kakashi as he lifted his headband showing off his Sharingan eyes. Then I am sorry, Kakashi, said Naruto as his eyes turned red with SS cancelling out any effects that the Sharingan may have on him. Sir, can I ask why you sent Kakashi out there? Asked Chuji. I want to see what Naruto can do, it will make taking him down all the easier, said Sasuke with a grin. Also I want him to feel pain as he fights against his former friends. I still call him my friend, thought Chuji. Kakashi, you don't belong here, yelled Naruto as he clashed swords with his old teacher. I am following orders, said Kakashi as moved his blade in just the right way to cut Naruto's upper arm. I can't believe that is your excuse, yelled Naruto as the blood from the cut began running down his arm. Is no one in the leaf willing to see the truth that Sasuke is a madman? We see it, said Kakashi, it is just the fact that he has the backing of the council and we ninjas just follow orders. You would follow orders even when it comes to killing innocent people? Asked Naruto. We ninjas are tools, nothing more, said Kakashi as Naruto's eyes widened. Then I am sorry for you, said Naruto as Kakashi jumped back and started to run those hand signs. So am I, said Kakashi as lighting formed around him. Chordy. Naruto just stood there as Kakashi charged forward. When he was about to hit, Naruto reached out and grabbed Kakashi by the arm. Red demon chakra came out of the Naruto's arm, crushing the Chordy in an instant. I am sorry, Kakashi, said Naruto with tears in his eyes as he formed a red Rasengan in his hand. Kakashi's eyes widened. Kakashi tried to move but the demon chakra held him still. Goodbye, said Naruto as he slammed the Rasengan into his old sensei's gut. Kakashi screamed in pain as he flew away, a giant hole in his chest. Naruto, just killed Kakashi, said Chuji, stunned by Naruto's actions. Oh well, said Sasuke as another Anbu appeared. Sir, the rest of the army has arrived, said the Anbu. Good, said Sasuke with a grin, send them in and we will overwhelm them with numbers. As the battle raged on across the world, Shikamaru stood somewhere he never wished he would ever be again. The ship had crossed the ocean in record time. I never thought I would be back here, thought Shikamaru as he stood hidden in the treetop, but he could still see what was before him. Looking out of him were the stone faces of all the Hokages, starting with the first and ending with Sasuke's ugly face. Flashback. What? Asked Naruto as he looked at Shikamaru. You heard me, we need to hit them just like they hit us, said Shikamaru, we need to show them that we can hit them on their own soil. Maybe we can even start an uprising and force them to send forces back home to put it down. I understand, but why do you have to go? Asked Naruto. Temari will never forgive me if anything happened to you, said Naruto. She understands why I have to do this, said Shikamaru. Okay, go, said Naruto. End flashback. Sir, we are ready, said an Anbu. More out, said Shikamaru as he and the 6 Anbu teams made out of 4 ninjas each headed toward the village. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.